Alrighty then. Well, before we get on to it, I guess I'll tell you what I got down here. It's craft paint white, craft paint black, thicker cad yellow. I got some umber, alizarin crimson, phthalo green, Prussian blue. These are obviously Grumbacher thicker paint there. Okay, all right. As you see, what I don't do usually is sketch out anything, but I just sketched out something simple here. Okay, this is actually watercolor paper on 22 by 14 inch cardboard with a watercolor paper. Painted it black hours and hours ago. All right, the sketch I've done, I did it a few minutes ago. Okay, it's dry. I'm gonna slap a little bit of glycerin on it, just a little bit. Okay, so and we're just gonna go on from there. Oh, thing about the cardboard is that it's been it's got folds in it, a crease here and a crease here, so it'll kind of fold like a little panorama when it's all said and done. Okay, all right, let's get right to it, I guess. And I'll throw the glycerin. This is a varnish brush, so it kind of will put the glycerin where I want it. It's not gonna really take off the white pencil marks. Okay. The varnish brush only applies a thin layer of the glycerin, which is perfect. Really, I don't have to go all the way down with the glycerin. Just enough to paint below the tree line, so some of the sky shows through when I do apply the trees. All right. So I really don't need that much. The sky will be very simply done. I'll probably put some down here too for the water, but it's not really the most important thing. The water will be all churned up and acting crazy. So I'll put it down here. If it dries, that's fine. If it dries up by the time I get down there, it's all right. But with the black, at least you get to see how it's applied. It's very reflective, as you can see, and I still see the tree line and whatnot. Not that it's going to matter by the time I put the paint on there. Okay. You'll more than likely see my head periodically. Just the way I got the camera situated. I don't really expect too many people to be on. Everybody's doing that cooking thing. All right. Well, let's get on to it. We're gonna dab into a little bit of, believe it or not. Well, let me start off with the Prussian blue. Prussian blue is transparent. As you can see, when I apply it to a black surface, it will still appear black. Okay. I'm gonna dab into white. I didn't clean off the brush, and my white will go slightly down below the tree line there, and I'm gonna go up into the blue. But I know where the tree line is, so it's okay. And as you can see, I'm just blending that white into the blue. So you get that gradual look there. The good thing with glycerin is that once it starts to dry, it spreads. Okay. As you can see, it'll start to, it'll start to spread out and everything, but you see that nice little glow there. It goes up into the darker blue, so we're all good. Okay. I'm going to take a hake brush and I'm going to get rid of some of the streaks. I don't want I can use either the hake brush or I can use one of the soft blending brushes. And I'll just very softly, it's a very soft, delicate brush, and I'm just going to brush off the streaks there. That's all. I don't want to force it. Very soft brush. And I'm just getting rid of those stroke marks, that's all. Like I say, glycerin will expand the paint and you won't see these stroke marks anyway. Very soft, that's all. All right. I got a large towel on my lap. A lot of you who've seen my program, you know the deal. Large beach towel on my lap. So, all right, okay. Let's start to play with a little bit of the shrubs and stuff. Okay. Now, as you can see, I got all this glob of paint here. I'm gonna mix the black and yellow so I get a nice deep green. All right, and I'll take a palette knife and I'll start to mix in a good healthy chunk of green just using the black and green mix. I'm mixing plenty of it so I can get I'm gonna use a sponge. Okay, now that is a very deep green. I'll probably lighten it up a tad here, a slight tad. Just a little bit of white, just not much. Just to lighten up. I don't want it to really turn a green gray. So if it starts going in that direction, then I'll just add a little bit of yellow to it. But I need plenty of the paint, just because of the nature of the sponge. Okay. So I'm kind of brushing it all toward the center there. All right, and we're just gonna fill out the trees here. I'm gonna soak my sponge in water. All right, and just start sketching out the trees. At least the tree line anyway. Like I said, this is fairly dark green, but we're gonna do it. We'll put the highlights and all that in there, but it's just a nice light tap, especially up top, because I want it to be kind of airy. Come up a little bit because I want to capture some of that glow. It gets heavier down below, but I'll capture some of this glow of the sky through the tree line here, which is why I got it, pretty sparse as far as the leaves. Then I'll come up here and we're gonna kind of cover it thicker up top here, and then it gets really, really bunched up down below. Now this time I wised up and used plenty of paint. And yeah, I'm gonna keep with the texture of the the leaves here. Because once again, I still want it kind of airy. It gets really thick down below. You won't see a lot of that black. Like I said, there'll be highlights on this, so it won't be a totally dark void. Really lay on the paint down on the bottom. It airs out a little bit up toward the top. Once again, I still want to keep some of that light coming through. I'll be a little self-conscious about, a little more aware about my head poking through there. Okay. Now that I've got this texture layer on here, I'm gonna put in some tree trunks before I do the highlighting. All right. I'm just rinsing off the sponge real good. We'll be going back to this sponge. Okay, let's get a little bit of red. Just a slight touch. I'm gonna put it in with what I have left of the green here. Green and black mix. It's gonna turn it kind of brownish. This alizarin crimson is a very powerful color. Slight touch of white in that. Slight. It'll kind of lighten it up and give us a little bit of a tree bark color there. Okay. I'll take this paint and thin it out there like that. And I'll do a quick swipe across. And once again, we'll kind of put some tree bark in there. You can do it at different thicknesses. Okay, it's up to you how you want to do that. Don't make them necessarily the same size. Bring some way up there. Make some cricket. Just vary them. Make it look kind of interesting there. Have some coming in another direction. Up to you how you want to do it. Let's go over here on the other side. I'm going to probably throw some lighter ones in there too, just for variance's sake. You see me tilting my head. That's because, once again, the glycerin is kind of reflective, so it makes it a little tough to see. So, pardon me while I pardon my head anyway. All right, let's get a little bit of brown. We'll put the brown right here. A touch of white. Let's get some lighter ones in there. It'll bring some of those guys up front. Thin it out there. Maybe a little brighter. And I'll probably wait a little while, let the paint dry a bit. So when I put the highlights on, it looks a little more natural. Okay, a little brighter. And we're gonna put some of these guys in there. So pop them in there in the front like that. Okay. If you have to, pop some in front of the other ones. Make some a little thicker. But you see, you can get a quick forest going without even trying so hard. You'll see a little bit more of these guys. Put a crooked one up there. You'll see a little bit more of these guys because they're brighter, so you'll see a little bit more trunk. Tighten that one up a little bit better. Just bring some of those guys on the other side here. Pardon my head. Put a thicker one there. Pop one up front there. They all don't necessarily have to be picture perfect. They're kind of far away, you know. It's fairly warm in my room here, so some of this glycerin and stuff will dry pretty good. Have one come right off the page there, up there like that. All right. Hello, Sonia. Happy Thanksgiving to both of you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay, we'll let that do its drying thing for a minute. So let's go down below here to the water. I just want to quickly just fill it in. Nothing special yet, but just giving me a little time to allow this to kind of thicken up here before I put the other leaves on. So we'll come here. It's got a little bit of glycerin there. All right. Okay. A little bit of phthalo green, why not? And maybe a little touch of blue mix in that. We'll put it in there like this for right now. And we'll just kind of pop it in there. As you can see, transparent color, but it is in there. We got a waterfall happening, so this stuff will, when I put white in there, it's gonna capture all of that. Okay. All right, let's go with a little bit of, let's clean this brush off. I'll put the base color in for the waterfall. A little bit of blue, a little touch of red, slight touch of red will make it a little purple. Now we got two equally powerful colors mixed together here. There we go. So we got a little purple happening. I'm gonna get some glycerin here. Loosen up the paint. So it's a nice deep purple there. Okay. And right in here, we'll kind of pop that purple in there. Put it right over some of those rocks there. Comes down a little bit lower in the middle, a little higher up on the sides there. Obviously, you're not going to see that. It just looks black to you. All right. Okay. Let's go back to our sponge for a sec. Let me get rid of some of this Let's get a little touch of black out here. A little dab of that green. So got some green and some black mixed in there. Pop in some of that yellow. So we get a different variety of green happening here. Okay. A little touch of white and brighten that up a little. Maybe a slight touch brighter. Just a slight touch. As you can see, craft paint's a little more runny. It's not as thick. Okay. Since I want thinner. Hey, Sugar Plum, how you doing? It's good to see you. I'm gonna take a little water on my sponge here, okay? Just to thin the paint just a little bit. A thinner paint does stick to the thicker stuff. Now, since I'm using a sponge for leaf, okay, it's a slight touch, all right? Okay, here we go. Just slight tap. See? I don't want to get rid of all that brightness, or all that darkness, I should say, excuse me. When I feel some of that paint is wearing away, I'll just get some more. But it's a very light touch. Keep the touch fairly light. And get some interesting groupings going on there. Okay. Get some shrubs down below. I'm going into the rock area. All right, I'll be mindful to get my head out of the way here. See, a couple little taps there. I don't want to destroy a lot of that I don't want to destroy a lot of the sky coming through. A little touch of water, not much, just a little bit, just to loosen up the paint. You're not going to kill the brightness, it's just thinning the paint a little bit. Okay. All right, you come in here, tease a little bit in there. You don't want to destroy all of your darks either. Come on, top up here, play around with that. We're gonna go even lighter still, but I am planting literally the groundwork for these guys. Come down below. I don't have to have all of the trunks showing, really. Yep, I have to duck. Once again, I don't want to cover all of that sky. So I'm really picking and choosing my spots. Down where the shrubs are down here, you can kind of build that up. Just like so. All right, let's get some yellow. I'm gonna just use the sponge. Put some yellow in there. Get some white. Brighten that up a little bit. Like that. Get some water. Remember to loosen up this paint. Okay. Now the brighter you have it and the more water that you end up using, it looks like that. All right. The lighter the touch and the less of it you need, just to kind of get a little highlight going. with all of this. So already you see it looks a lot more dense and more focus a little bit there. Looks a lot more dense than what it really is. Okay. Now where do I want the light source? I always end up going to the left. Let's go to the right today. Let's do that. Let's pop in a few, just like that. And look at how I'm doing it here. Okay, see that? Some of those trees in the background back there, I'm gonna leave a little dark. And it just builds up more density without even trying so hard to put some in the bushes there. Come up here on the top, pop in a few there. Turn the sponge around, get some different patterns going. And the secret of it is get some interesting rounded patterns, right? We'll get a batch right in here, like this. All right, see there's some stuff back there, but I'm not gonna highlight that. Let's highlight some of these fellas up here. And so what it does is just give me a sense of the depth and you know, some stuff going on back there. Down below there. Come up here. And occasionally you got to stop and look at what you're doing. Make sure the flow's kind of right. Okay. And see that? Come out here, come down here on the bottom a little bit. Nah, let's keep it dark there. Let's kind of pop in some here. Let's come up here. Pop a few in there like that. Get some down on the bottom there. Have some crop up here. A lot of people think you took a single brush and just started doing this. And this is our secret. Shh, don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody. Okay. That's pretty cool. All right. Maybe just to do it, I'm gonna throw some red in there, just to add a little bit of differences in color, maybe in the bush area. And I'm gonna still use the sponge. Just cleaning off a little spot here. Let's get a little bit of red, just a little bit. We'll put it right in there. A little bit of white. Okay. Yeah. Slight touch of water in there. Water it up a little bit. This is deep in that red, just a slight bit. Push it back in there. And it's just me really adding water to this, mixing it up a little bit, like so. Red's a very piercing color. It's just a little variance. Okay, let's kind of ball this sponge up, and we'll dip a little bit of this in there. And just in little spots, we'll kind of tickle some red in there. And that's, you know, some red bushes here and there. Kind of pretty it up a little bit there. Very light touch, very very light touch. We'll keep that one green. We'll go over here and slap some red up in there like that. Come down below, like so. Let's put some of that up in here. Come down there. Let's put some higher up here. Get some more of that red. Tackle some of that down below here. Maybe one way up here somewhere, like that. Okay, like I say, just to kind of add a little color back here. All right. You know what? Maybe a touch of orange. Why not? Let's go get some yellow here. Get that black out of there. A little bit of this alizarin crimson. Let's get a nice firebrand of orange happening there. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. A little pinch of white and brighten that up a little bit.
You've been recording?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Hey Gina, how are you? That's the bling lady. Bling, bling, bling. All right, we'll throw a little bit of orange. We'll pop. You know what? Let's pop a little orange up here. Make it a nice little, almost a little fall scene there. Just like that. We'll pop some up here in the top up here like that, and we'll come down here a little bit. Okay. Pop some down here like this. I should have gotten a little bit of water, loosen up the paint. There. So I have a little more to play with here. Like that, and we'll come up around in here a little bit. All right, see that? See how it wakes things up a little bit? Okay. I like to kind of maybe mess around. We'll put some up here. Mess around with putting it in between the green, usually. Right to the right side of the green. We'll kid around with a few up here. Stuff like that. Alright. Not really all over the place. Now you got a different look here. Alright. Okay. Let's put that away. These type of paintings really don't take me too long to do, really. I'm just kind of cruising along, taking my time a little bit. Let's take we'll take a smaller fan brush. I think this stuff is still somewhat tacky. I might be able to get away with it. Let's take a little bit of white and we'll just drag it white out here a little bit. And we'll get the path of the falls going. Like I say, we might be able to catch most of this. Let's see. We'll find out right now. If I can't, it's all right. There's ways I can. Yeah, it's doing it a little bit. It's capturing that color. Keep doing it. In the center is pretty much straight, but you're gonna get that curve in there. I keep just rubbing the color in there. Bring that down a little bit. Curve is important. Okay. A little touch of white. Slap in where the highlights would be. Sometimes doing this, you only get one shot. Remember, this is craft paint. It's not the super thick stuff. Pretty solid up here. Turn my brush around. I still got some water or some bright paint there. We're gonna kind of touch the corner and get some reverberating water going through there. This is basically just following the flow of the waterfall. Get some high action there. The water churns into each other a little bit. Come out here a little. Add some. Little droplets, it looks like. Stuff like that. I'll come up here and we'll kind of over here on the opposite side. Just like that, right up on the top. Alright, so you know, you got the light kind of smack on that one side, like the highlights of the trees there. Okay. Alright. Well, since I did all of that already, let's play around with some of this water here. Just take some white. Now we got some churning water, we got some stuff happening. Okay. Basically, I can just, you know, well, I'm really concentrating on the water, so now, it looks a little bright for right now, but give it a second or two. Watch what happens as I keep doing this. It's going to kind of pick up that blue. See how that blue's getting picked up there? See that? See what's happening? The more you do it, the more it's going to turn blue. Okay. Let's move that up there so you guys can see what's going on. And if you got, let's say you put too much water in or whatever, you can always return that black back in there. But I really want to concentrate on getting all that, getting some shades of blue, different variances of blue in there. Now, let's get some frothiness of the water. But before I do that, let's just take a flat brush, it doesn't matter what, because it's still pretty much kind of wet, okay? And then I'll just take a brush very lightly, I'll go across left and right. One, it kind of smooths all this out a little bit, and it rubs that color in there. Just like that, all right? Okay. Like I say, paintings like this doesn't really take me too long. It's not really a difficult painting. It would be a great painting to teach in class about depth perception and drawing turbulent water and all of that good stuff. Let's take a little bit of white. Let's bring it here. Let's take a little touch of blue. And we're gonna see this. See what we got going here. Okay. Remember, this is craft paint. It's not that really thick stuff. It's not titanium white. We're gonna take the front end of this and we're gonna pop in some frothy stuff, but I'm doing it in blue first. Okay. Get some more and pop them in there. It's really making a churning mess out here. All right. You see how a couple of brush strokes can make stuff look convincing? Now I'm doing this pretty much for the beginning painter, novice painter, paint every weekend or so, how to make things look kind of convincing. And remember, I'm doing it with the, I'll be going back over this again because, you know, we're gonna have to add more when the rocks are painted in, okay? Something like that. But the reason why I got it that bluish color, because we're gonna add the white. We'll add the white a little bit later. Okay. All right. Let me show you something else while I'm thinking about it. Let's take this same brush. We'll dip into a little bit of black. Let's say up here. Let's bring this back down. Let's say, oh, hey Shane, how are you? It's good to see you. Let's say you want little gaps in here. Okay, you just take your brush, take the corner, and you kind of pop in some gaps of mysterious stuff going in there. Maybe you want it a little dark in here. See this? Put those little gaps in there. Maybe, you know, you want some mysterious stuff happening. And since you're tapping it in there like that, once it dries, it just looks like dark bits in between leaves, and in between the bushes, whatever, little path or whatnot. Up to you how much of that you want to put in there. I go straight down to the bottom there. Okay, really up to you. How mysterious do you want these woods of yours? Okay, now what you're looking at right now is just the woods being or the paint being wet, so obviously it's going to stand out, but give it a chance to dry. Once it dries, it's going to darken right back up again. Okay, put it up here, maybe add a little interest up here. See? Come on down here a little bit. Just adding little bits of darkness here and there. I'll keep it pretty much down below. Maybe a little bit of darkness right up in here. Let's bring some of that down there, like a little. Just like that, just in little spots. Remember, it's gonna look like this shiny and it's gonna stick out until it dries. All right, okay. Kathy, how are you, Kathy? It's good to see you. I seen you had your bingo on yesterday evening, I believe. It's good to see you. All right, now you can see the bits of the trees back there, but you still see some of that light going through. Okay. So all of this adds into depth. You still see the darkness of some of the other trees there, so you don't have to paint every single thing with highlight color. All right, it adds to it. All right, okay. Okie dokie then. All right, let's get on to the other stuff here. Let's start doing the rocks, okay. Now, I could have been lazy. Well, here, if I'm gonna do the rocks, let's aim this up here. And let's go to the left. Let's put it up there, because we're not really concentrating on anything up top now. Let me stretch and bring it more of a full screen here. Let's move this over. And let's pop that. Okay. So, there's a few ways for me to do this. Okay. 7 p.m. tomorrow? Sweet. All right. Oh, this painting, for those of you who are coming in, this is, I don't forgot, 14 by 22. But it's a triptych, meaning it's going to be more of a panoramic shot. There's a crease in here and there's a crease here. All right, the cardboard that I put this watercolor paper on came with the crease, and so you can actually fold it. All right, so yeah, okay, let's do it this way. I want to color in the rocks, all right, but I don't want to really destroy all of the black. We're gonna need some of that black, but you'll see what I'm gonna do here. Let's just take a, what are you? Probably a 3/4 inch flat brush. I usually get the bristles wet, dry it off. It just keeps the bristles moist and bendable and all that stuff. All right. Okay. Let's go into our umber here. We'll put the umber right about here. Okay. All right. Just a touch of white. Gray it up a little. Something like that. Okay. No, I don't want the blue. If I add blue, it might turn it green. I don't want that. Okay. I'm going to use the side of the brush. You see me patting this thing here. Okay. Okay. I'll use the side of the brush. I'll start with this guy back here. No, I'll start with the one right up here, right here in the front. Let's start with this guy in the front. And I'll just use the side of the brush and I'll just kind of get these kind of rocky patterns going. I'm just using the side of the brush to add texture. And remember, the light's hitting off this side, all right? Something like that. When you see how simple it is to do this, all right? I mean, you guys can do this. This can be done. And I'm using almost a lost and found method. I'll explain that. Because I'm doing this on a black background, I can pretty much kind of mold these guys any way I want. Okay. So I'm going to do the rocks in the front first. Then I'll go backwards, because as I go backwards, let's go over here on this side, this corner, right here. These guys are in front of us. Now this one doesn't have as much light. All right. So I'll be a little sketchy with this one. You got little bits of stuff hanging out here, but not too much. But we'll get into that as we now this rock's in front of the water, so I gotta kind of make that notion that this guy's in front there. But once again, I'll start getting things a little more rounded off and solid as I do it. Okay. Now because it's a lost and found method, I can shape this front rock any way I want by just adding black and sharpening it, if that's what I wanted to do. Okay. All right. Okay. Each layer of rocks will be getting darker and darker. Okay. All right. Let's take, I'll do the rocks a little different. This is a little fun for me. I'll take a palette knife, this guy right here. Now what I'm going to do next, it just requires a lot of paint. It's just the nature of the beast. Okay. All right. Actually, let's get a little bit of blue. Okay. Let's hope it doesn't turn too green. I want to use this brownish mud kind of color here. It's getting there. See that? See that color? Okay. Because these rocks are up close here. All right, that actually should be good enough. It should be cool. Now what I'm going to do, because you kind of need some paint for this, I tap. But look at the, yeah, you guys can see it. Look at that. You see the pattern it's leaving there on the palette knife. We're going to use that to our advantage. Yeah, we'll use this one here. Okay. Like I say, the light's pretty much hitting over here on this area. We're going to go over here with this dark area. We're going to tap and slight drag, but it's kind of a tap. Tap. just like this. And you can tap these interesting. You can hear the tapping. Okay, and I'm going to have a little fun here with this guy. And we're going to really emphasize that in the dark corners. It gives you a different kind of layer and texture for the rocks. So you got a different texture of rock, and you can judge what part gets all of this, what part does not. All right. Now, as I'm doing it, I'll get a little bit of white, because we can come back to this and just lighten that up a little bit. It's just a lighter form of gray, really. Okay. I'll get it a little bit brighter. I don't necessarily have to have it one complete color. It can be marbled. Okay. And then I'll go over here and tap some quick highlights there. This is thinner paint. And you just kind of tap to where you want some of these highlights to be. I can probably have this a little lighter. I can have that just a touch lighter, actually. Now, with the case of this paint being that thin, all right, I can thicken this paint up by using a little bit of I'll just show you, because it's a little too thin. I'll show you what I can do. Yep, happy Thanksgiving to all of you also. This is called modeling paste. All right, and it just thickens the paint. It does not change the color or anything. But as you can see, you see how it's coming back. I'll show you what the can looks like there. But that's it right here. Okay. It is really thick stuff, you know. It's not coming out of that jar. All right. So if you got thin craft paint, like I have, and you want to thicken it up a little bit, this is pretty much it right there. Okay. And you can see my texture comes back. All right. Okay. And then I can just come out here and kind of, there we go. See that? And just add where I want some of this stuff to kind of be. But it does give your rocks a totally different look. And wherever I want the light to hit. Preferably up on top, where it's the heaviest. Now once again, I can guide this stuff to wherever, or I can design the rock to however I want. Okay, just like that. We're gonna go on the other side right now, do the same thing. Actually, I didn't add the darker part. Let me add the medium tones first. So I'm gonna take some of this. I'll take about this much. Right here. Just add a touch of black to it. We'll darken it a little bit. But you see how different variances of grade you can get? Okay. Just that quick. All right, and we'll start to play. We'll play over here. This one's not too many highlights. And I'm not really worried about the shape, because I'm gonna show you how you can easily get your shape of the rock to come back. So that's not really my biggest priority right now. but I'll show you how you can get there. I don't necessarily have to get rid of all of that tannish color. All right, now let's go back to this color here. I don't need too much highlight for this fella. Maybe we'll tease a little bit up here. And a little bit of something here. It's like that, kind of shape that rock just a little bit, not much, because you don't see too much on this side of the rock. Just a few. All right. Okay. Once again, I can shape this rock to pretty much anything I want. Okay. But we're gonna work on the middle guys here. Let's we do different variances, I guess. Let's get a little bit more of blue here. So let's add some blue to the color we already have there. Just mix it right in. It's all right. Okay. Get it a little deeper there with some red. It's going to turn kind of purple on us, and that's okay. That's fine. Pop that umber in there. So we get all types of variations and colors of gray. Okay. See, it's just another form of gray here. You got me? Okay. Like I said, they'll get darker and darker as they go back. All right. Now, obviously, that's more or less it may or may not be enough for that rock. So let's go back into our brew. Let's make a little bit more. Let's make a little more. So we got two sides to do. Put that alizarin crimson in there. Once again, it's just a bigger batch of what I had earlier, and it's darker. And this is just another way to make gray. Okay. Okay. Let's get a nice little pile of it right there. Okay. And once again, Kathy, I understand. You enjoy your day, Kat. And thank you for stopping by saying hey. I do appreciate it. Okay. Now we're going to work on the middle mountain. I'll be touching this screen a lot to adjust the focus. Let's put Mr. Window on the other side here. All right. So this fella right up in here, we're going to kind of tap. There's no glycerin or anything up on this. So we're going to really kind of drag some of that out there. And like I said, you're going to get some very interesting patterns here for rocks. And I'm just going to tap on my texture on there, whatever texture that I'm looking for. Now when you do rocks like this and you add this crazy kind of texture to it, you can pretty much kind of build your own rock structure. I've done animal faces doing this. And basically I'm just tapping. It's like a tap and drag. But you can see the different patches that's coming from it. That's where the tapping comes from. And once again, there's no glycerin on So the texture is really sticking, it's holding. All right, but look at the way the rock looks already. Okay, you can do this really without even trying. I'm gonna go sparse when I get closer to this rock. There's you know kind of a dark area, so it gives space in between the rocks. All right, but you see how that looks? Okay, yeah, you see how this one comes out. This one's still in the back. You got me? Let's go to the other side here. Same thing, other side. We'll make it this fella kind of solid here. We'll kind of keep playing with it here. And I'm really just sketching out the shape of this guy. You can take it and you curve it around if you want, make the rock rounded. Up to you. Now every time I add a layer, okay, the camera tends to kind of fuzz out a bit. It's not anything wrong with the camera. It's just the camera cannot catch the depth like the human eye can. So that's where the issues are coming from. So the camera's fine. It's just not, no matter how expensive the camera, all cameras kind of have that issue. All right, they all do. The camera's eye is not the human eye. I'll put it to you that way. I'm gonna have to get another palette knife like this because this one has been beaten down through the years. It's all lopsided and bent up. But it's okay, I still work with it. Now the reason why I like doing this without the glycerin or any kind of medium is because the roughness of the paper, and it does catch. You can build up your solid rock area as you see me doing here, and see those gaps help build that sense of depth in the painting. All right, so you get it made for you without breaking your neck. Okay, you can go in half circular motions. It's really up to you how you want to do this. Okay, but you see that nice. It gives the impression that there's a deep, almost a little crevice in there, and then they start coming out when you catch the light. Maybe you can put a little something right there in the middle of everything, just like that. It goes off the page there, just like that, and leave it alone. Your eye will fill in everything else. You follow me? Okay. All right. Let's go to our white. Put it right in there, and you're just gonna make it a little lighter. Cause there's still slight highlight. That's not bright enough. Gotta really put it in there. This liquefied paint here, you just need a little more. This is not titanium white. This is more of a mixing white. But now you see the difference in color here. Okay, but it's now a little thinner. Okay, even though I got plenty of it, but it's not as thick. Okay, so when I tap down on it, it doesn't leave much of a pattern. Okay, but that's okay because I can get away with it simply because, well, I mean, there's a little bit there, but not too much. You see the light catches it a little bit because I already have texture on here. You follow me? So all I gotta do really to get the light that I want is just slide it across, because the paint will catch on the previous paint that I've already put down there. You follow me? Just like this. And you come on down. Look at that already. And say you can do little patterns. You can curve it, swerve it, whatever. Come on down like that. I don't need too much really. but the light is being caught right off of this rock face more than the other side will. But like I said, this is each layer of rock will become darker and darker. We'll round that up a little bit. Add a rounded edge there. Okay. A little more stuff up here. I don't really have to add too much all in here. You want to kind of keep it kind of rounded. All right. Each one of you who are painters can do the same exact thing. Same thing I'm doing. It's not, elf magic or anything. Yeah, it's definitely unique to me. A busted up palette knife sugar plum. You got that right. I agree with you there. It's definitely unique to me. Busted knife. I'm going to do the highlighting different on this one. This one's going to be behind the peaks. Okay. Right, we're kind of going more toward the side there. The light's not catching off the front. It's on the back end. You got me? All right. Off the back end here. Up around this area there. Off the back end. I'm really trying to get that focus there right for you guys. You wouldn't believe how close we are to almost finishing this thing. Like I say, these type of paintings doesn't take too long. And I'm being very mindful of where a lot of this is hitting up here. Okay. All right. I know I got plenty of this stuff left, and that's cool. That's all right. But watch this. Watch this. Let's get some blue. What's left of the blue? Gray is a neutral color, very forgiving. It's friends with everybody. Now you see I got all this gray here, but I'm gonna mix that blue with that gray, and look at this. Look. Still gray, but look at the blue. Look at that. You see that? That's what a neutral color will do. It's not the blue that you see here, but look at this. And it's still gray, but it's got that blue tint in it. You follow me? Okay. That's what you see here. Okay. Okay. Just a little touch of that brown in there. Brown it up just a little bit. See that brown in there? See that? So you're still gonna have some of that brown color up in there. That makes a good bottom of sky. This color, brown and blue. Gives you that type of gray, that sky gray color. Okay. And plus it thickens the paint back up. Okay. All right. Once again, we do that little tap thing. Get our texture going here. Do the same thing here. Now, since I already done the waterfall, the rock will come in front of. Now, once I put the rocks in front of this stuff, it's going to set the waterfall back. You got me? Follow? All right. All right. Let's come up here. Let's add a little bit of love right up in here. As a matter of fact, I want a little ledgy rock thing happening right here. Just like that. Now I have it come down like that. Then I'll kind of horseshoe it over there a little bit. Just like that. layer of rock is a little different. Now out here, because I'm putting a rock in front of the falls, it's got to be a little thick there. Put it right in front of the falls there. Then you can break it up if you would like. Pop another one out there. Let it break up a little bit there. Put it right in front of that waterfall. Put it in front there. It brings that waterfall back. All right. Let's connect this one. Let people know that's still the same rock there. Let's give a little cute something right in there, like that. Okay, we're going to take the same color. We're going to work on the other side here. Right up in here. So we'll bring a little bit of that rock up in here. I kind of like that little bit there, so we'll have something jut out, have it jut out quite a bit there, and then we'll kind of guide it around like that. Once you get accustomed to it, it's pretty much child's play after that. Happy Thanksgiving, Gina. I appreciate you coming by. She's still a bling lady. Bling, bling, bling. Let's take a little bit of white. Put it right in that gray. Lighten it right up there. Doesn't have to be super bright. The other advantage to having no glycerin on the rock area is that it dries fast. So I can keep this thing moving. Okay. All right. Get them rock textures happening there. Especially here on the rock face. Once again, I don't have to have it ultra bright. And it doesn't need to be. Come up around in here a little bit. Right where I want a little bit of the sunlight to hit there. I might give it a little something trailing over there. All right. Just like that. Let's go on the other side. Now, when I'm totally done with it, I'll look at it. 'Cause I do have a 45-inch screen. You guys don't see it, but I'm looking at the painting on that screen. It oddly looks like somebody else is painting it. So I get another representation of it to make sure everything's kind of cool and working for me here. All right, right here. Not too much of a highlight. Once again, it's on the back end, so up in here a little bit. Come on, circle around. Give me some love right in there. It's really on the back end back there. really light gray here. Let me get just a little bit of I told you it's gonna happen. It was gonna happen. I'm just getting a little bit of modeling paste to thicken up this really light gray. It doesn't change the color, but it does make it thicker so I can apply. As you can see, it happens really fast, lightning quick, this stuff. Just because I put it on here doesn't mean that it's going to be any slower drying. It still dries pretty quickly. It's water-based. All right, let's throw in a few cute little brighter highlights, just where I feel this might be needed, just a little bit. Okay. I don't want it super gaudy bright, but just bright enough to hit some, just where the light might kind of pop on a few of these. I can use this same color to do slight highlights on all of them. And it gives me a chance to kind of frame these guys so you know where things are. Now remember, the texture is already on here, so the paint is just kind of gripping onto what it wants, and it gives you the rest. See this? It takes what it wants and it gives you some change back. All right. But look at that. You see? All right. Hey, Jessica. Welcome, welcome. Okay. I can cheat a little bit here. I'll kind of frame a little bit of the tops. Now, I got to be really selective to how I'm doing this. I'll trail a little bit off the top. It's kind of glancing off the tops here. This one here is the back end still, so I can kind of highlight the back end, let it kind of trail on some of that back here, but really kind of frame those top rocks a little bit. Pop some off the back end where the waterfall is, back in here, like so. Now, if I got a little too much, I can go back to that black and make some of that disappear. Bring some of that black back, just like this. See how you can bring some of that darkness back in there? So if you feel you got too much, knock it back a little bit. Okay, all right. I can add some shadows under here to make it. You see that there's rocks back here by that waterfall. It frames the other rocks a little better. Okay. All right. Look at that. Pretty neat. Let's do a little something before I continue on. Let's go back to that small fan brush. I want you to look at something here. Let's aim this downward for a minute. There we go. Okay. Out here, let's say if maybe a couple of these are too far up front. Maybe I want to draw that back a little bit. Just take a little bit of black. And let's see if I want it a little darker here, then I'll just kind of add some of that back in there. Bring those back a little bit. Come on up in here a little bit. And it just brings that back. It brings those rocks forward. So we'll kind of put him in the back there. Shove him back there. Maybe you want a little well, here, I might want more of a, almost like a cave, little path right in there. So we'll kind of darken that up a little bit, pretty much just on the bottom. All right, and as I'm doing it, see, I'm not going to get rid of all of it. Now remember, it's shiny now because it's wet. Let it dry, and it'd be just like what we've done before a few minutes earlier. It just brings that back a little bit. All right, maybe I don't, really want the shrubbery that close to the rocks. Like this guy up here. Maybe I want to show off that rock a little more. So let's get rid of some of that green. This is more of a lost and found thing. So you can kind of create, your atmosphere. Okay. Let's have this one go back. I want this one up in front. So we get rid of that, put it up there. See, just bring it back a little bit. Just like that. Yeah, let's kind of give that rock a little divot there, like that. Remember, don't be thrown off because it's wet. It dries up. All right. All right. Back here on top of this waterfall, yeah, let's darken that. Let's give that some darkness. Let's kind of accentuate that waterfall a little bit better. So we just make that a little darker there. Just like that. I'll turn my brush straight up and down, kind of, see? Just like that. Push all that back a little bit so that it brings this guy up front a little bit more. You can also bring it up a little more by adding even stronger highlights. I don't really want to do that. That's not really needed. Now, adding all of this, now you can see the glow. See the glow going through the leaves here? Okay, now that's the camera that made that adjustment, because when this was brighter, all right, you didn't see that because it was competing. You follow me? Got me? All right. Okay, let's put this back up here. We'll take the same fan brush. Okay, now remember, you got the off-white, kind of light blue wave churning water here. Okay, let's just take our white, little touch, right on the tip. Very simple way to make your foam, and you just kind of give it a nice little touch. Make sure you tap. Don't drag this. All right. Now you see the frothiness of the water here. Okay. And I'm just really you get a bunch in the center and then you trail it off. All right. And I'm just using the tippy part of the brush. Let's get some action going up in here like this. It's really crazy up in front here. It's really got some stuff happening, so I'll put some all up in here. Okay. You do a little bit at a time and you just build from it. Now, this is why I got it kind of, see that light blue? See how it just sticks out now? Let's put some of that up here. And you trail it off there. If you find yourself running out, just get a little bit more and a light touch. You want a dot pattern going, okay? All right. Like I said, this is here. We got a wave coming in front there. There, like that. Right here, instead of going on top, we put it on the bottom. And we'll put one here curved, like that. I want to show you something else too. While I'm doing these little dot things here, I want to show you, watch this. Talk about water movement. Now you can go either way with this. You can like, see right here, you can take it and you go like this, boom, like that. See that? Okay. Or you can go the other way. I'll do it this way. You can come up and you go like that. And maybe you can put a couple of little splashes up there like this. Look at this. Now you talk about a lot of water movement. Okay. See that? I just rub it right into the water there. We can guess it. We can kind of just pop a couple splashes up in here like this. Okay. If you're quick enough, you just take your finger and just kind of put it right in there like that. You can have all sorts of fun doing this stuff. Pop it all up in here like that, and trail it down. You can really make this look crazy. Whole lot of action going on. Let's put some spray behind this rock right in here. There's a lot of it here, and then it just kind of splatters out like that in little bits and pieces there. So you really got some turbulent stuff happening there. It just kind of splatters away like that. So you just got a lot of action happening. Okay. All right. I can take this very same brush and let's go on some light circles. I still got paint on here, but it's very light. So with this light paint, we're gonna just get a little bit, and we'll just kind of. It's like getting paint on your brush, and then you wipe a lot of it off. Okay, so I'm patting it on my towel here. Extremely light, and we get your mist going. Look at this. See that? Put it right above the falls there. Get a little bit more. Very light, extremely light to the touch. Get your little mist happening there. Now, if your mist starts turning gray or whatnot, don't fret. Go back over it. Get another layer of color, and it just gets brighter. But you have to take your time. Don't rush it. It might appear that I'm going a little fair. I'm used to doing this. All right, I've been doing this for a minute, so. The key to it is just keep it kind of airy. Okay. Keep it airy. Very, very, very little paint. Actually, let's get a little stronger white there. We have a little bit of that mist come right across the falls there. It kind of connects here, but then it kind of goes across that bit, kind of mist across the falls. And once again, stuff like this just adds depth to your painting. Go right on across, make that kind of visible, and then you kind of fade it out on the other side there. Have it come on up there. Very light, don't rush it. Very light, have it come on up. Just like so. Just have some fun with it. Have some fun with it. Look at that. Trust me, I was scared to death to do this when I first tried to do mist and all of that. I wasn't as brave as I am now. But sometimes you just gotta stick your neck out there and just get it done. Just do it. Hear me? All it does is just add more atmosphere to your painting. Okay. Okay, let's get a little bit of black here, just a little bit. And I'm gonna very lightly kind of exaggerate some of those. See how I can kind of See, put a little bit of that dark in there. Kind of get, well, it just overemphasizes really the waves, basically. It's just a slight touch of black. I'm taking a lot of it off of my fan brush here. And just kind of just put it in sporadically. Especially here toward the front. You can get it a little darker. Like I say, it just brings the waves out a little more. Alright. It's rubbing into that blue. You can do stuff like this all night long. Add blue, choose not to add blue. It's really up to you. All right. As I'm looking at this and looking at this and looking at this, I can get rid of actually I made a mess. And since I got time, it's not like I'm going anywhere. I'm looking to see if I need to add anything else. Not necessarily. I think I'm pretty much, this is pretty much a done deal. Let me sign it. I will show you how easy it is for me to clean this very, very messy palette up. All right. Now, once again, for those of you who came in, I'll repeat it. Hold on. Let me get some, let me sign my name. This is a section painting. There's a crease here. There's a crease here. Okay. But hold on one second. Let me just plop my name in here real quick. There. All right, let's show you something. Okay, bear with me, guys. Well, since I really don't have my face on here, this should be easy. Actually, I think I can just switch it with, I could just switch the tab button. Hold on. There. All right. So you see the mess. Okay. Now for me, now that's a lot of paint, but you know, hey, it is what it is. I don't need the paint anymore. Now this is rubbing alcohol. You can use Windex. This is a glass palette. You can also do it with a plastic palette. All right, and basically the metal knife. All right, and you just scrape it away. The Windex or rubbing alcohol, it eats right through this paint like nothing. Okay. And it does it rather quickly. All right. Especially the hardened paint that dried. And this was the dried stuff here. You see it just comes right up. Look at this. Okay. And I really don't need to paint for any other projects, so I can just kind of scrape it and get rid of it. Don't matter. And of course, rubbing alcohol does evaporate. As you can see, I got a nice mush of mess here. Okay. I do have a large garbage pail with a plastic bag in it with a shoe rack down there. But I'm just going to take some paper towel and just kind of sop this stuff up like so. Just grab it and just get rid of it. Just like that. Okay. So I might as well show you what I go through every time I paint. So you see how easily I can get this clean. No fuss, no muss, baby. Looks like I never used the thing. Sometimes it just seems so unfair. But look at that. All right. Let's press the tab button. Let's switch that back. Let's make him disappear like this. Okay. All right. Let's draw back a little bit. Excuse my palm. All right, let's hit the focus one more time there. You haven't done a waterfall yet? Take a look at the video. It's a little over 90 minutes. It's not bad, but you can see how I did it because I did it pretty early in the painting. Okay, let's see if I can do this without wrecking it. Remember, it's a sectional. I believe I did tape it in the center. So there's 3 parts to this, but they're all attached. All right, I'll just slowly take this off. Now, this is my preference to add borders. It's just, it looks neat and professional. Just to me, my opinion. That's all it is. I have done paintings without using the borders. So it's basically on the subject matter and how you feel at the time. Okay. Now I pull and lift as I'm doing this so I don't rip into the painting. Yuck. Now painting, the tape is not porous, so the paint does hang around. It says hello if you happen to rub your hand across it. Now I do have, because the size of this particular painting, I have to put it above my little clamps here. So I have to lift the clamps up and remove the paint, the tape carefully so I don't tear into the painting, because it will grip this stuff. Okay, I wish it was in focus a little bit better. It might be just my TV, but I guess it's in some kind of focus. I hope. Okay. Oh no, I got one more. Sorry, false alarm. False alarm. So it's a pull lift. I'm going out in that direction when I do this. Okay. Much like that. All right. Now, when I'm saying that it's kind of a triptych thing, okay, the center part is one painting, and you got 2 paintings on the side, and it bends inward like that. See that? So when it does totally dry, you can actually completely close this thing. Okay, when it completely dries. But there you go. That's what it would look like. See? Pretty neat, right? And so it'll be a painting. You can either put it on a wall. You can hang it on a wall like that. Just let the folds just hang out. Or you can set it up. Now it's taped here in the center. So, but that's what it looks like. So when I do take a picture of this thing, I don't know if I'll take a picture of it flat like that, or maybe partially folded so that people can see it as kind of a triptych deal. It does fold on each side. Okay, it all depends on how I want to do it. All right, but you see, it's not totally dry yet. You can see, well, when the light hits it there, you can see little bits are still trying to dry. Okay, but that's it, guys. Yep, that is all. I do appreciate you guys stopping by, and I hope you have a very pleasant Thanksgiving and you enjoy yourselves. And Jessica, don't eat so much you get sick, because I'm gonna laugh at you. Yeah, enjoy your special day tomorrow. Be thanks for all families and friends, especially in this crazy over 2 years of that COVID stuff. So everybody just be safe. Thank you, Shane. I appreciate it. Now I got to think of how I'm going to take a picture of this thing. Maybe I'll just take a picture of it just like that, and let them know it folds. Who knows? Who knows what I'll do? So anyway, I'm gonna take a picture of it tonight, I gotta make a thumbnail of this, and you'll see it posted on my Facebook and Instagram later tonight in a few minutes. So okay, I'm just laughing at Jessica's comment. All right, guys, enjoy your day tomorrow. I may or may not come on, who knows. It all depends on what I want to do. So thank you, everybody. And trying to get my there it is. Yep, gotcha. All right, guys, be